Alright, by request, just running through the newest version of United Noble Knights that we've been working on. A lot of refining has gone into this. It's the result of experimentation and contributions from multiple members of the Discord, myself included, but certainly not ending there. It relies on using the Armored Xyz package to extend the inboard and to use the floating effect of the rank 5 Arthur to broaden the board and primarily tries to start plays with the classic Noble Knight Madrite. Since this is a post-Isolde list with a specific starter, we are actually down to 40 cards with a whopping 10 non-engine slots. That's pretty much the first time since I started playing Noble Knights 9 years ago that that's been viable. So it's pretty exciting to see how that works out. Is it as consistent as in for Noble Knight? Not quite. There's a few more bricks, and you don't have access to one-card starter lines, such as Battle and Boxer, but I would say it's pretty similar in output, offers a few fun techs. At this point, you're really only playing the deck specifically to make use of the old school Noble Knights because you want to, because you're a fan of the older cards. List itself is fairly straightforward. You've got your one Gearfried. Your Noble Knights, you're running 3 Midrite, 1 Boars, 1 Hector. You don't need the Hector, he's an extension option. And then 1 Artorigus. And then you're running one of basically every Infernoble Knight. I think Ricardito is the only one you don't run, top of my head. Then you're going to run 5 arms, 1 of each of the Infernoble arms, and then 2 re-equipable arms. You actually need one of these primarily to start your best combo. However, there's a lot of access. You can get them with Heritage, you can actually get them with Bradamant, and therefore you can get them with Rhoda by extension if you want to go that route. So you have access, it's fine. And then an Angel Ring, 1 Camelot, 1 Museum, 1 Round Table, so 1 of each of the 3 field spells, 3 Heritage, 1 Rhoda, the 2 Armored XYZ spell and traps, and your 10 non-engine of choice. Extra deck is incredibly tight. You really only have 2 flex slots, and that's this rank 5 here and the rank 4 Arthur. Everything else here is used, so the extra deck is incredibly strict. Run through it with some replays. Side deck, you're going to want to Caliburn for time and then fill it with cards of your choice. Pretty straightforward from there. Astolfo is also, just like Hector, kind of optional. You use it for some extension. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot to say here, so just I have a couple of the base combos to show. So, I hate that view. This is the basic Midrite plus re-equipable arms combo. This is your bread and butter, the most powerful one. We're going to start by going Midrite, arms, boars. Oops, I should probably pause. With boars, you need to make sure you're dumping at least Durandal and Joyous. Your third can be optional. I just chose Almace there because you need to get Durandal to search for Ogier, and then you link off rank 5 into Gravity Controller, floating with rank 5 Arthur into a Body from Grave, and Joyous summoning Ogier from the hand. Then Ogier is going to dump Turpo. You make Dempsey. Dempsey also dumps the material. You go ahead and get your Renault. Now we're going to go up into the Armored Xyz Fortress things. Go ahead and equip rank 5 Arthur. Upgrade again. Float into Ogier. Add the spell back with Dark Lancer. Sorry, it's very fast. Special Renault, get back and equip. We're going to go ahead and equip rank 5 Arthur again. So we make Angelica. We can chain block that search with rank 5 Arthur floating into a body. Go ahead and trigger Angelica, summoning main deck Roland, and dumping another equipable. I like Maji for the draw. So that was also not clear. Turpin equipped to make Midrite a tuner, letting you have 5. So you're going to hard make Captain Roland. Go ahead and special Turpin. Make Charles. Now we have enough stuff left over to trigger for the shuffle back and draw. We got a pop Gravity Control to get it out of the way. Go ahead and summon Charlemagne out with Museum after searching for the Camelot. Swap over to Camelot. Camelot is going to bring back rank 5 Arthur again. So this will be the 4th time we trigger his float. Linking these two off into Little Knight, rank 5 Arthur floats back into Charles. Equip Charles with that equip from earlier. go into Charlemagne, and set the trap. So, alright, when you dump, our Angelica is going to come back, and then we're going to activate Little Roland in Grave to search for the, or whatever you want really. Round Table dumps Hector. Charles is going to equip Little Roland searched at the Angel Ring. No, sorry, Angel Ring was dumped with Big Roland in this line. So then we just use the Round Table 12 effect because we had 12 names. Now we're going to go ahead and use the 3 effect dumps Hector, then the 12 effect draws, then the 9 effect adds Hector back to hand, and the 6 effect summons Hector from your hand. You can choose to equip an arms or not. That is optional. And then on their turn, you overlay Angelica and Hector into Artifact Durandal, float the Destiny onto Charlemagne. Now Charlemagne is untargetable and indestructible once from there and once from Camelot. So you have a Tower for Charles, an extra Charles, the full Lancer Absorb, SP Bounce, 2 spell trap negates, 1 spell negate, 1 pop, and 1 effect swap. So that's a pretty sizable board. And then these 3 are all cards we gained, plus we only used 2 cards, so you have 3 more. So you've got 6 cards, so you're likely to see some non-engine. So that was fast. Apologies, I'm tired and out of practice because I don't do these videos anymore. If you don't have access to re-equipable arms, but you do have a Durandal, here's one example of something you can do. In this case, we're going to go ahead and summon Ogier out, and actually going to go for pretty much a traditional Infernoble line. Make your Dempsey, grab your Renault. Make sure you special Renault here because we're getting rid of Fire Warriors for a bit. Grab that back, we're going to want it. We're still going to make the Armor Exceed stuff because we want, this spell's just a lot of like free equips, which we need. So special your Turpana, and then we're going to search for Astolfo. So make your Angelica, and then we're going to use the Armor Exceed spell to trigger her the first time. Float Angelica while you dumping Little Roland, summoning Big Roland. We're going to go ahead and add that spell back because we're going to use it. Then make Astolfo a 4, make Charles. Link up to Charles. Let's go ahead and use our Museum. Museum gets Camelot, summons Charles back out. We're not making SP here, so we're just using this to have the equip for the second Charles. And then we don't have any use for the extra body, so we're actually just going to go ahead and search. I grabbed an arms, you can grab whatever. So you get 2 searches. Angelica comes back, you get Big Roland is going to, actually Little Roland is going to grab Angel Ring to hand. Then Charlemagne's going to equip Angel Ring. Then we're going to dump Hector. Now we have 9, so 9 brings back to hand, 6 brings it out. So we have our 5 and 5 to make Durandal. Also of note, we did not activate Astolfo's Grave effect because then we would not have 9 names. If you want to use his Grave effect, in case it comes up, it's not often, but it could come up, then you need to have another name you can get to Graveyard from your other cards in hand. And then just like before, we're going to go ahead and overlay into Durandal. So that was a bit of a roundabout way, but just to show what you could do, if you, and All Mates can also be a Durandal, but the other option for arms is Madrite plus Joyous. So for Joyous, you can get the same result, you just have to work a little harder for it. So once again, Ogier, and we're going to dump Turpin, make our Dempsey, do pretty much the exact same thing here. So this is all pretty much unchanged, except we're going to use the Armored Exceeds on this a little earlier. We dumped Bradamant here, specifically because we want to get Bradamant back to hand. So we didn't dump Little Roland, which means very little, honestly. So Bradamant then can get us Durandal, which can get us the Astolfo. And from here we have more or less the same play until we get to the very end step. We just make our Charles, equip it, Museum, summon Charles back out. Exactly the same as the other line. You just have to go through Bradamant. Now, one thing of note is your search is less optional here. You have to search an arms. It doesn't really matter which arms, so Destiny is still the best choice, but you need one because we are not going to be able to dump Hector at the end of the round table. We have to dump Little Roland because Little Roland is going to get us our Angel Ring. And so in order to still have the same end board, we're actually going to add back Madrite with the 9 effect. And then when the 6 effect summons, you summon Madrite and you equip with Destiny. So basically this equip is not optional in this version of the route. You do still have your 12 names though, because Ector is replaced with Bradamant. And then I was a little late to click in the sim, but basically you just make Durandal again. So it's the same end board, just have to go a slightly more circuitous route. And then you only run them each at once, so it's not nearly as common, but for the sake of it, Ogier plus Renault has a really cool line, honestly. I wish it came up more often. So I'm going to dump Durandal here, get it back with Renault. And this is going to look like a very standard Infernoble line for a bit. It's going to diverge later. Okay, let's go ahead and grab Turpin. And then Durandal's going to get us into Stalfo. He's really key for a lot of this. And then we need to use a fork. We need to preserve him because we're going to get him back to graveyard so we can use his equip effect. Alright, summon out Charles. And then in this version of the line, we are going to go ahead and actually get rank 4 Arthur, make Custanine, Armored Fortress, grab the things, equip Custanine to Charles, and then Charles is going to pop Custanine, bringing out rank 5 Arthur, who we will then go into Little Knight, bring him back. Now we actually can use the Astolfo effect here because we have our names. And then we're going to dump Hector. We're going to do our equips. Now I actually, I went ahead and did a Durandal in this line. You can do Angel Ring as well. You have options. If you search the Angel Ring with the, you need to be able to dump Little Roland for that. That's right. So what you need to do if you in this line is, if you want to get the 2 5s, you don't have the option to dump Little Roland unless you have a third card that lets you put that makes up for the shortfall, like how Bradamant would do it, or hard opening any of the missing pieces. So if you don't dump Hector, you dump Little Roland, and then you get Angel Ring. But if you dump Hector, then you get Artifact Durandal. So it's kind of whichever one you want. We already have 2 Spell and Trap Negates, so I tend to prefer the Durandal effect, but either way works. And then the other thing of note is you don't have Big Lancer, specifically because you can't rank him up while he has a material. So he kind of just sits there annoyingly. It's a body that you can play around with. You can get around this by running a third of the Armored Xyz spells. There's an equip spell. It's not terrible. It's this one here, but you'd be running another brick in a way. Pros and cons, because if you hard open one of these, you also can't dump the materials off Fortress, which means you have the same problem. By running the third one, you do make yourself more able to play through like that restriction of having either one in your hand or being stuck with the extra material. You wouldn't be able to dump 3 materials from this one turn, but you could do it on the next turn. The issue that you face though is that it's bad enough to open them as it is. If you have 3 of them, then like 1 in 3 games you're going to be opening one of them. It's just reducing hand consistency. Not worth it in my opinion. It's an option to be aware of though. So yeah, hopefully this answers the questions. I'm gonna wrap this up, send it over to the asker, and yeah, it was cool showing this off. Noble Knights are not as good as they were with Isolde, that's true, but I'm not giving up on it anytime soon.